So please tell me your name and what you
My,
do.
my name is Tad Patzek, and I am a professor of geoengineering at the Civil and Environmental Engineering of the University of California at Berkeley.
With all your work, like, what is your message to the people?
Well, my message to the people is that with the current status quo, the way we conduct business in our country and in many other countries, there is no possible continuous solution that is stable for human existence. We will not be able to exist the way we are today by doing the same things for a couple of more decades, period. And so now the question is, do we want to jump into some discontinuous solutions to our existence? And these discontinuous solutions, for example, would involve dramatic cutting of our population, let's say by a factor of 2 or more, due to some, shall we say, catastrophic events? Or do we want to be a little bit in control of our destiny and try to make changes into our lifestyles and into the sizes of our families that will allow us to survive as humans?
Just an opinion, like, what do you think my generation can do?
Well, your generation should get mad. That's the first thing that you need to do. You should get angry. You have every reason to be angry. My generation and in general has kind of screwed it up, and screwed it up rather badly. Not because we are evil, it's just because we're stupid. But in that we are not any different from any other generation. It is just that our time to be adults and to sort of rule the planet came at a period of human civilization which is very unusual. This is the period where at the same time we are hitting the peak of oil, we are facing tremendous change of climate, warming, and again, I'm not going to comment who does what to the climate change. It is happening, it is an observable phenomenon, and therefore we need to be aware of it. And at the same time, we are beginning to see the downside of the Green Revolution. That is, we have developed a lot of agriculture which is driven by tremendous subsidies of fossil fuels in terms of fertilizers and pesticides. And what is happening is two things are happening. The soil is getting eroded away. The soil is getting damaged. That is, it's getting depleted. And at the same time, the pests of various sorts are developing resistance to our herbicides and to our genetically modified plants. So it's a triple whammy. And I forgot about one little detail. We're also running out of drinkable water for most of humanity.
Okay, so why is no one talking about peak oil and these problems?
I think that the reasons for that are very much built into our human nature. Humans, humans as predators or animals, but that's who we are not built or not wired for looking far into the future. We do react instinctively to a brick that is falling on our head, but if we are to imagine a brick that will or may not fall onto our head, let's say a year from now, we don't care. And so, in a way, we are destined to have a brick falling onto our head. Now, the modern society has built institutions, among others science, whose role it is to predict the existence of the brick and its trajectory. The problem is that most people do not believe these predictions and they do not react to it. And since most population is woefully uneducated about the existence of the brick, the politicians simply ignore it as well. And so it closes the circle that there are few people, such as myself, who are crying out there in the darkness, in the wilderness. People sometimes even listen, they even nod and they say, well, you get us depressed, and then they go on doing what they've always been doing. But the problem with this attitude is that we are wasting time. And time is not on our side anymore. We do not live in an infinite world, and we do not have an infinite length of time to react to things.
With global warming, do you think we're past the tipping point?
Well, you know, first of all, there is not a single tipping point. There will be several. Second of all, it's very difficult to say. The reason for this is that all of these phenomena are very nonlinear. That is, they do not follow easy to predict trajectories. And there is a lot of positive feedback that sort of feed on each other and amplify various happenings, such as ice melting and ice breakup. Well, and then, of course, as a side effect, we will have rising sea levels, and as a side effect of that, we will have inundations, floods, and also, in general, warming surface of the planet will warm up the atmosphere near the surface of the planet, and therefore will increase the moisture content in the atmosphere, and therefore we will have more hurricanes, more severe rains, more inundations, and more trouble. Also, rain patterns will rearrange, and so some places will become much drier, but others, by difference, will become much wetter. And a lot of this rainfall will be unpredictable. And so, you know, if you couple this to overpopulation, to damage to agriculture, to general movement of biological zones, habitats, and you know, ecosystems, where what was now south is moving north or moving up, then there's going to be a huge multi-pronged dislocation of the way we live, and we are not prepared for that. I mean, look at us. Look at Arizona. Look at Nevada. Look at Las Vegas, Reno. Where, you know, these are the hottest housing markets in the city. Well, 50 years from now, I dare say, they won't be there in the same shape.
Are we already seeing implications of global warming on us today?
Oh, absolutely. We are seeing it in the drought waves, in the heat waves that are developing. Just look at Greece last week and the tremendous tragical fires there. Look at the general increase of fires in the United States. And again, we can argue about the reasons such as fire suppression and what have you, and population of people living close to forests. But in general, the number of fires is related to the dryness of the soil, and that's increasing. We are also doing something that will never be reversed in the lifetimes of us and our grandchildren. We are destroying major ecosystems in the tropics. These ecosystems, even though we cannot see them from our windows here, are enormously important to all of us. You know, Brazilian, let's say, tropical forest serves as the largest cooling system of the planet outside of the ocean. It's a huge heat pump that cools and maintains life by maintaining its own rain. So what are we doing to that forest? We are cutting it into patches, and we are introducing soybean fields and plantations, mostly for biodiesel, but also for the Chinese consumers, for their cows. And so once that happens, the rain will go away, because there won't be enough trees to pump the water to produce the rain. Once the rain goes away, the forest goes away, the plantations go away, and we have just a super desert, poor, infertile, and full of soil that is nothing, that is just dust, dirt. And so that's what we're doing. And it's not that we're going to do it or it's going to happen in the future. It's right now, today, as I am speaking, this forest is disappearing. There is no way that this finite earth of ours will sustain this onslaught. And we're doing it. So if I were to ask your generation to do one thing, you know what? You need to start calling for a stop to that.